How's it going?
Cool, sir.
How's it going?
Cool, sir.
Hello. GM.
GM. Sprinkles.
How's it going?
How is everybody?
Fine. Cool, sir.
Good. OG, can you help me out? Can you give me the link to the Notion page
GM.
for today's
Sprinkles.
meeting? I can't seem to find it. How is everybody? And it's gone.
So let me see if I can tag you.
For today's meeting,
Sprinkle.
I can't seem to find it. How is everybody? And it's gone.
So let me see if I can tag you.
For today's meeting,
Sprinkle.
I can't seem to find it. How is everybody? And it's gone.
So let me see if I can tag you.
For today's meeting,
Sprinkle.
I can't seem to find it.
It's in
How is everybody?
the general chatter. Can you see it?
And
Sprinkles.
it's gone. Okay.
So let me see if I can tag
In
you.
general chat.
Sprinkle. Yeah, can you see
Can't
it?
seem to find
It's
it.
in
How is
the
everybody? Yes, I can.
general
Thank
chatter.
you.
Can you see it?
And
Welcome.
it's gone. So if everyone just bear with me, this is my first time doing this. I would appreciate it. But
Let me see if I can tag
it's our
you.
general chat. Can you?
Sprinkle. Yeah,
like to
can you see it?
introduce themselves?
It's in the
Yes, I can.
general
Thank
chatter.
you.
Can you see it?
And
Welcome.
it's gone. So if everyone just nobody bear with me, this is my first time doing this. I would appreciate it.
Let me see.
We can just go down and everyone check in, see how you're doing, how you're hanging in there. Do you want to go first? Katubu?
Yeah, sorry.
Hi.
Yeah, Jerry guys.
Yeah.
How are we all doing? How is our weekend? Well, to start with, my weekend was actually cool. It was great. It was a fantastic one. Here we are, another week. So, I'm positive about this week. I'm sure, at the end of the week, everything will be alright. So I don't really have much from my side for this week. I'm just looking for better. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Katubu?
Hey, GM everyone. How are you doing today? So I think the so far the week has started on a good note, and I'm doing fine. And I hope everyone too is doing fine. Let's keep the vibe rolling.
Thanks, Katubu. You're gonna have for the pronunciation. Martin Blue. I guess it's easy. Martin Blue.
Hello. Jim,
Hello.
everyone. What's up? How you doing? For me, my weekend was pretty fast. I enjoyed it anyways. Monday so far is going pretty well. I hope the rest of the week it's like this too. Thank you.
Thank you. OG.
Yeah, GM everybody. Yeah, my weekend was fine. It was good. And yeah, we're in a new week, and we are looking forward to a better week, new things, progress. And yeah, I'm good. And I hope every other person here is okay too.
Thank you. And my friend, you're going to have to help me out with the pronunciation for the next one.
That's Oluwashijibumi.
Thank you. Thank you. Oluwashijibami, did you have anything to say? Tell us. Check in.
No, I'm fine. Fine. I don't have anything to say.
Okay. Can you help me out? Can you tell me how to pronounce again, please?
Should I tell you what?
How to pronounce your name again, please, to
Okay.
make sure I have it right. So I have it right.
Oluwashijibumi.
Thank you. Opara, GM.
Guys. Yeah, so my weekend was pretty okay, sha. Yeah, looking forward to this week.
Good. Sane one.
GM guys, hey, yeah, my week was pretty good. Was a bit stressful actually. Yeah, I don't know. It was weird. But yeah, I hope everyone's doing great and looking forward for this meeting.
Thanks. Scar.
GM everyone. Uh, my weekend was fantastic. I had a lot to do, and just hopefully looking forward to this weekend, get some work done. So yeah.
Thanks. Spirited.
Yeah, my week has been my weekend has been fun. My weekend was fine, and this week is awesome. Like good vibes this week. So I'm just pumping everything up, and I believe this week is going to be ending in great fashion. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Tiga.
Hi, was fine, and so was my weekend. I'm looking forward to better things this week. Thank you.
Anna. Simply Anna. Anything going on this week? You want to check in on? Okay. Zara. Zara.
Yeah, Zara's in commute. They said they left a message in the voice chat channel, or the voice chat associated with this channel.
Gotcha. Thank you. Well, Ernest, you're next.
Yeah, doing great. I'm on the road this week, traveling, so running away from the hot weather.
Okay. Thanks. Annis. Annoying.
Hey, Jim, everyone. Yeah, what's good?
Crown.
Hey, GM guys, how is everyone doing? Hope we are enjoying the week already.
Brown, if you're still talking, I can't hear you.
Oh, I said how is everyone doing? Hope everyone is enjoying their weeks already.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Infinite Homie.
Well, greetings and salutations to everyone. I'm having a lovely weekend, and today is Labor Day in the States, therefore, I am not working, and I'm currently making some spaghetti. Thank you.
And Mikhail. Mikhail, are you with us?
Yeah. I'm here. GM, everyone. How has everyone been? How's today going? So far, my day has been stress free, and I'm just settling in. Monday is always like this for me, but Tuesday is kind of always busy. But yeah, I'm enjoying today, and I hope you all do the same too. So looking forward to what the outcome of this meeting will be. Thank you, Sprinkles, for facilitating today's meeting. Well done.
Thank you. Okay, so is there anybody else new that just joined that I've missed, or anyone that I've missed in general? I don't think so, but I'll give you a second if there is.
GM, everyone. I'm good. I hope you're good too. Thanks, Sprinkles.
Thank you. Okay, so we can move to unless anyone else has anything to add, we can move to announcements, and the North Wind. Ernest, probably go first. Yep, first.
Let me get unmuted here. Do any of our learners care to give um, the announcement? All right, I'll just go ahead and read through. Essentially, we are period ones have gone out recently, and with roll holder payouts and coordinate. The period two payouts are just about done, if not done already. We are refining the process that goes, basically the administration process of the coordinate and the roll holder payouts. So folks will notice on the main Research Guild page, on the governance section on the right-hand side, we've added the coordinate sign-up form so that it can always be found easily. And we've also added the editable view of the form for folks that are helping to administrate that document, so that they can ask edit access if they don't have it already, and make it easier to just kind of be onboarded to the administration. We encourage folks to review the governance section in our Notion and to leave comments for anything that's unclear, for any suggestions that you may have, or any additional amendments that you'd like to suggest for discussion. We essentially have about another month of reviewing the governance documents, and then we'll start working on the next season budget, and have to we'll go through a proposal process for any changes. People will get to vote on amendments. So this is the time to leave your voice on these documents. And again, they can be found on the right-hand side of our main Notion page. And I've been trying to get around to producing some videos to kind of just help people understand, kind of my mindset and how I go about reviewing some of these governance docs. So look for that video probably this week or by the end of this week. So by the next meeting, hopefully. And that's it for the Northwind updates.
Okay, and so look, can I just ask, so on the Notion, if you don't have access to it but want to comment or have your voice be heard, how would one go about doing that?
Yeah, well, everybody should be able to have comment and view access to those governance docs on the main page. If you do not have the ability to comment on the documents, reach out to the Southwind role or any of the role holders that you may be working with at this time, or support folks, and we will make sure that you have the ability to comment on those docs.
Ernest, please, could you please repeat that coordinate part? You were like speaking about something on coordinate. My network got drugged there, and I'm trying to put it down.
Essentially, the coordinate just ended for the last period, so the payouts, are essentially coming, if not already. I believe I saw that the transaction was initiated for payouts.
Yes,
I just haven't
it's
confirmed
in already.
if they've all been signed.
Yeah. Sorry, Ernest. My question was, you said there will be change in coordinate system or something. That was what I had. Like,
Just
that was where I
no,
got wrong.
just the administration process, so that one of the big things is that we still use a lot of Google Docs to work in because people just don't have the skills, with Notion and the familiarity with Notion to be able to do what they do in Google Docs. So this adds a whole nother layer of maintenance in setting up permissions for people's, sharing people's personal documents. And this will be like a maintenance issue and an onboarding issue on an administrative end until such a time as we have enough people skilled in Notions where we don't need to use Google Docs anymore. So there was a, in essentially, yeah. So it's more about refining the administration process and the documentation on how that's done, so that as learners come into learner roles, it's clear for them the what the process of administration is, what's the timeline, what steps you need to do in what order for administrating the coordinate and the role holder payouts. So yeah, we're not changing anything. We're just
Thank you very much.
making some of our documents and processes easier to understand for the learners and us role holders that are figuring it out.
So Ernest, I haven't looked that over yet, but I would of the coordinate period would maybe be addressed there.
Yeah, I'll share my screen real quick. You did cut out for me a little bit, but I think, let me know if this doesn't answer your question, but at the top of our guild Notion is the administrative timeline for the guild. So this has, Notion pages built for each of the administration processes that we do. So it has every coordinate period, it has when we do elections, It has a page for the review that we're going in right now. And so if you open up these pages, kind of depending on the page, it'll start out with resource documents, and then kind of planning documents for that particular part of administration. For something like administrating the coordinate, it's a series of checkboxes, which are action items. And so if you're administrating this particular coordinate, you should be able to come to this page and just start committing and doing these action items and checking things off your list as you go through administrating that process. And so in Research Guild, like this is how we decentralize power and allow people to build their autonomy, meaning that essentially if you're you can just come to this document, go through the steps, and do a process in the guild. So it's just, we call it like self-administration essentially. And it starts out with the bounties on the agenda, and then the same way that your bounties have instructions with them, you essentially do things, commit to action items, get bank. And so for the role holders and the learners, it's the same way. We have to develop, pages that take people through the steps and kind of, help people go through that process, but they very much have to kind of, use the checklist, right? And then our job is to like build and make the checklist better and better over time, so that people know what to expect, how to do things. You get like, we don't really have a guide for running a meeting, but yourself and others who like take that big step to try these roles, um, get to develop every single time you take on that role, like improve that process and set that model for others.
Okay. I'm sorry. Does somebody have something to add? Okay.
Sorry about that. It was a little sidetracked.
No, that's great because I'm following along with you here. So, what I guess what my question is in the governance that you're developing, will it address, so on the administrative timeline, make reminder isn't checked off. I don't think that there were.
Yeah, so,
and I could be wrong.
No.
Reminders, or all the other guilds have these big flashing like signals, like coordinate time, and there just wasn't any of that to the correct documentation this round. I'm just wondering for the next round if that is going to be addressed in.
Yeah, yes, ideally, and people are learning how to do this, right? So it's like, new people are learning this process at the same time people are learning how to do it. We have one of the longest, if not the longest, like sign up and allocation period of any guild. Usually most guilds only give you 4 days for sign up and then 4 days for allocation. And so, that's one of the things that we've changed, is to make that period longer so that we can do an announcement at the beginning of the week, announcement in the middle of the week, announcement at the end of the week as we transition to allocation. So that's 3 announcements that should always be in the announcements channel every period. One of the things I thought of this morning, just out of the blue, because I've missed coordinates, I still miss coordinates, is we could have a coordinate that was just always the first it was always for a whole month, and then the last 7 days of that month, we do signups. First 7 days of every month, we do allocation for the previous month, and then we just have that timeline. So if one season's budget ends up having more coordinates than another, just because of the way the beginning of the months fell and end, it wouldn't matter. But then everybody would know that it's a monthly coordinate, and so a pattern like that may be easier, because what tends to happen is that certain guilds get behind. They change the lengths of the seasons for the whole DAO, and then this affects like the timelines for all the guilds, and so you have 14 different guilds all running coordinates every 4 to 5 weeks, at different times. And in general, it's very interesting, and it does, unfortunately, cause some people in the beginning stages to kind of like miss that period, but their contributions can always be brought into, the period that they didn't miss.
Okay.
Yeah, and like you said, if it's not on, we have just make reminder, right, for sign up. Well, we should say, and this is how you contribute, right? When you find a Notion document that's missing action items or missing descriptions of action items, you come in here and say, make reminder 3 times a week. You got your beginning of the week reminder, midweek reminder, end of week reminder. And then so now, right now, the next time and since we added this stuff,
link at all, and then it just went until the 27th was the allocation period. The links in between were to the incorrect the temperature check, I'll call it,
right,
document.
Yep.
So I think, at least for me, that's where like it got confusing.
Yep.
But I can only speak for myself.
Nah, and I guarantee you, there's other people that feel the same way or have had the same experience. And anything that makes, especially if you're a new person, I'll just remind folks the those of us that have been here longer and just figured things out, our experience onboarding and what was there when we onboarded is way different than when it's the folks that are onboarding now. So one of the best ways to contribute as a new person is by mentioning some of these things and adding some of these blockers or hindrances, or things that are confusing. Bring up those things on the governance docs, so that we can make things more clear, add more steps to the process, for the next person, make it easier for the next person.
Yeah, I think that's perfect.
Could you possibly, just because there's a timeline, just add in the dates for the coordinate timeline in the administrative timeline? Because that'll give at least a little bit of a visual. Of course, you'd have to lead everybody to reading or looking at the timeline, which we're not there yet either, but it at least kind of get us in the right direction. Because I did listen to the last couple minutes, and I have a few questions, but instead of just asking the questions, my thought process would be just take, because I think the next period might end on the 9th. I could be wrong. I can't remember off the top of my head, but just whatever the end of that period is, take 5 days back or 6 days back and just time back for the coordinate. Because we were kind of, I know personally, kind of guessing what day the coordinate was supposed to start anyway. So, I mean, since there's a broken down timeline, just add the coordinate date to that timeline and then kind of go from there, at least for the time being. That would be my suggestion.
Yeah, so folks will notice timeline view, but you can see every one of these instances has a date range, as that's the default characteristic of the Gantt chart. And this particular view of the database. But I did make it easier to see the actual dates just from adding properties, add date range, and then it adds, we can see who the people are, the learners. So again, this is kind of a, if you want to learn the process or in the period, we ask you to add yourself as a learner to the document. We make note of the season, the status, as you start or complete, one of these periods, the status changes, the stage of development that it may be in change. And then we also identify things based on administrative type, since this is an administrative, timeline database.
Thank you, Ernest. If anyone has anything else to say?
And I'll just say that in the next Notion course, the Blue Belt Ninja is going to get into databases. But these databases and understanding essentially how to manage tasks and how to project manage by managing the properties of the database is the big, powerful secret that Notion unlocks once you know it. So I encourage folks to learn, Notion as much as possible so that it becomes easier for you to, contribute and work in work groups.
Thank you. So, Southwind, OG will check in with you.
Yeah, GM everybody.
GM.
Just a very short update. I didn't do much this week. So yeah, as Ernest said, the real holder salaries and bounties has been disbursed. Yeah. So I've been saying I've been talking about the office hours that I do have on Wednesdays by 3 p.m. UTC, but it seems that no new member has ever joined. And also, when I check the chat channels, I see that people are complaining that they don't know this and they don't know that. Please feel free to join me in my office hours Wednesday by 3 p.m. UTC. This Wednesday, I'll be teaching folks how to facilitate weekly meetings because facilitating a meeting is not for a particular set of people. No, it's an open bound and do it. If you feel you can do it, just go for it. So please feel free to join me. And if you have any other question about Research Guild and the DAO generally, you can throw the questions at me and I'll answer them. Yeah.
Thanks.
And
OG.
also,
Sorry.
yeah.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. Also, for the Member of the Month award, the poll will be up by next week. And in Trinity, I didn't attend the last meeting. I just want to say congratulations for winning the Member of the Month award for the month of August. Yeah, so that is all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. So do you have, can you elaborate at all on members are asking about or don't know how to do this and that? Is there one or two specific things that maybe multiple people are asking about that if we addressed here may be helpful to everyone?
Actually, the question of most of them is, how do I contribute and stuff like that. So that's just it. Everybody wants to, know how to do this, how to do that, and they want to learn. They want to start contributing in any way they can, but they've not been told or been taught about most of the things, like how to claim bounties and the bounties that are available for them to pick and stuff like that. So that is the main reason why I do have the office hours. It's basically for new members that are finding it difficult to understand how to contribute in the research guild and the DAO generally. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. If anyone has any questions.
Hey, Sprinkle, Sandeep here. Just a couple of things to add here. Now, one of the things, OG, I think the general challenge here is, and I'll be very upfront with this, is that there are not a lot of definitive things for members to do, new members. Okay, and I'll be very honest here, and I think many of the senior folks are here. I can see Honest and Infinity. Is that so? Honest diligently runs the Web3 social scan, and he diligently keeps on reviewing stuff and he adds it, and it's a massive repository now. Now, whosoever is interested can go there and help him. Sorry, Honest, for the wrong pronoun. Can go and help, but it is a very voluntary thing. Honest is not looking to take it to and make it like a multi-million-pound revenue earner for the research guild, if I'm not wrong. Okay. Now, stablecoin. Many of you here are actually writing chapters, but I'll be very honest. I don't know the end game of that product. What is going to happen to that? So these are the only two things which are active. One is driven by Ernest, and one is me herding people. So OG, if you get questions from people where they need to contribute, I'm going to be very honest and tell you that you may not be able to give them a lot of answers because there is not a lot of things going on here.
Why are you leaving me out? Huh? Why are you leaving me out? What, the test out? You got okay.
No, homie, not test DAO. I'm just talking about
messing with
RG. I'm talking about
listen,
RG, not test DAO.
I'm
Not test DAO.
messing with
No.
all the time.
No, test DAO, homie needs tons and tons of people. So just head over to test DAO. I'm just talking about the fact that that if you are looking for specifics, then it is only Ernest's work and stablecoin. Now, stablecoin now is at capacity. So there are a lot of people on this call who are actually writing chapters. So if somebody comes and asks me, is there anything more to do on stablecoin? I'll simply say no. Because there is no point of me asking 4 people to write one chapter. So I think what RG needs now, OG, is that we need specific tasks. And this could be ops. This could be helping the role holders on something. Doesn't need to be a research project.
Right. I agree.
I really understand you. Most of these projects, all these projects do have pioneers. Like Bankless Research, Senad is the one that he's the head. Let me just call it like that. He's the head. And then the stablecoin research, I asked about the stablecoin research, why it has not been active. I think it's Joe King that replied that message. He said that they joined stablecoin research together with Bankless Research, which made me to be confused. So
No,
actually,
no, OG, don't be. I have just written in the Bankless research thread, and the spirit should be able to see it. Is that even in Bankless research, there is no clear intention to pick that up unless and until I hear it. So it's like something which has a lot of potential. It's like something which Bankless research can make a brilliant product and actually hook clients. But what it needs is a roadmap to completion, because all you guys will write the chapters and then that's where it stops.
yeah.
So, if I may, I definitely understand where you're coming from, and definitely makes sense. An idea. Let me take it from the where I started approach, because I was. If you guys think that you were confused right now, I was definitely confused back in like November, October. I cannot recall when. Trying to figure out like, what am I supposed to do? Where am I supposed to go? Right. So I think kind of off of your point, sir, is, you know, there actually are tasks that need to be completed, but it's hard to see what those tasks are. And I myself, with the test out thing, have been notorious for not making those tasks clear, right? Same crypto sapiens, they've been notorious for not making those tasks clear. I've seen the stable coin, it's not very clear either, like you said. And Bankless research, I'm super confused as to what's going on there, right? So none of us have been really bringing home, like none of us have been really acting at our highest potential. Now, when I started, I remember Ernest had like like a project that was a clear task, like, here, this is what you can do. And I'm like, okay, cool, right? And so based off of that, I kind of figured out, okay, this is what I need to do. And it gives you a little bit more autonomy, number one, and kind of more confidence in moving forward. Because from that task, I started wandering around, went into Crypto Sapiens. Then you realize, okay, based off of what I saw from what I was doing with Ernest, they were giving me, tips and tricks as to what to do, right? Based off of me jumping in and doing the projects. However, there are no projects kind of like that right now where there's like a set task. I'm starting to get that together personally, because there is a D work. Oh, I gotta go. I'll send the message later. I gotta go for a second. I'll be back. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, so OG and the rest, just continuing on Homie's thing, I think we would all agree that there are not a lot of things which have clearly outlined tasks. Now, for the new joiners on the call, I think the best way to do it is to reach out to the role holders and to OG and find out whether they need any help in terms of doing their roles, because they would in some way or the other. And you can help them on those things, which is essentially managing the research guild ops and stuff. Ernest is always looking for people to continue the Web3 thing. So you're always more than happy. But remember that the work which we are doing for Ernest's project and stablecoin, just to be very specific, is that these are internal projects with no bounties. So your participation will be counted as part of the code inip. No bounties. Bounties are stuff if the role holders say that, oh, I want this database to be built, I'm going to create a bounty of 3,000 bank because I want somebody to help me on that, then that is a bounty. So, and TestDAO, Homie will talk about it when she's back, if not on this call, sometime later. So TestDAO is a different proposition, is that you can go to TestDAO and you can almost like help in building TestDAO. It's at that stage, to be honest. But because it is at that stage, it's a bit messy. So I just wanted to kind of, lay this foundation, because I see a lot of you reaching out and then my hands are tied because I can't point you anywhere.
So if I could point folks to, so the place to start is the agenda. The work of the guild members is to build the agenda. It's our agenda. So on every agenda, we have self-administration bounties, is what we call them. And they're very clear bounties, and they're very simple bounties, and they're bounties that are underutilized. And so I agree, maybe folks just don't understand that the first place to start and the model for all the work groups is the incentive bounty, the guild incentive structure. And you can see this in the governance section of the main guild notion page. And what no work group has done yet, but I would suggest, like speaking from the Web3 social media research, is so we've been able to build this repository over time. There's always interest in it. It's a regular thing to be able to do, and the work does qualify you for coordinate. But we can actually look back over 3 months and say, well, for every, say each month we add 20 entries to the database table. Well, we have a historical record going back 3 months. We can figure out what the average is, and we can say we can create a bounty. So this would need a proposal, to go into discussion, but somebody could draft a proposal for what a bounty would be for entering an item into the Web3, research database. And then that work group now has a bounty that's a specific thing. It can get added to the guild incentive structure that's at the end of each agenda. And this is how you use coordinate to figure out what the work is. And then once you know what the work is and you can budget for it, you start then using the proposal process in the guild to create bounties. And it's up to the members to decide, like, this is my personal belief. I don't want to create work for other people to do. I'm only here to figure out what I want to commit to doing. And sometimes, most oftentimes, this is in cooperation with other people. And it can become a simple or complex set of tasks after that. But the name of the game is commit to action items, get tokens. Doesn't matter whether you're in this DAO, another DAO, trading, jogging. It's always has to translate to actual action items. So one of the questions I have is it seems like most people are in the learner phase, where when I was a learner, and I still most of the time consider myself to be one, but it's a lot of time I just don't know the questions to ask. But I would just urge people to figure out what do you want to do, what do you want to learn, what questions do you have, where things are difficult, and then we can figure out together, what people want to do and how to take things to the next step. So is a bounty for entries into the table the next step? It could be. If you're writing chapters for stablecoins, is the next step an NFT project where we can publish the chapters and the research as an NFT? Is, what stage of development or planning is test DAO? What could be, the next phase there? We need members who have the ideas on how to take things forward, just as much as we need project managers and administrators to kind of help keep track of everything and report on things. So welcome to the funhouse. The lab. This is why we call it the lab.
For the sake of time, there's 9 minutes left until the hour. If we could get, are you here to update on Eastwind?
What's up, everyone? I think that Eastwind sort of the update has been given from the discussions so far, and I think that I've been saying this for the past 3 weeks or so, is that like we need people who will take initiatives to actually do stuff, right? Like it's we need people to self drive themselves to pick some of the initiatives that are there and execute or get to work on them, or even come up with their own initiatives to do. And we have a backlog. Let me just touch on it. We have a backlog of research projects or research initiatives that has been started but haven't been completed yet, right? If you are within the research group and you are looking for ways to contribute or you are looking for things to do, that's a good place to check. If you also have a research idea that you would want to form an interest group and then work on, that is also a good thing, right? It's research guild is research, so let's do research at least. Let's have folks. A majority focus of the guild should be on research, or basically how to come out with better ways of doing research, right? Instead of like all the focus being on administrative things. Without the research project, without the research initiatives, the administrative things is useless, because what are you going to administer? Right? What are you administering? You are administering project, you are administering research task, you are administering stuff. So those are the things that make the administrative work valuable to their guild. So the Eastwind role has a standing bi-weekly research support core that, for folks who try to start these things, if they have a challenge, can come on the call and then receive help in terms of, just learning how to even start interest groups and all that. So there's no project going on that we can give any update on. The last one, I think the last major thing we did for the Eastwind role was help the Bankless the Bankless research project stuff, folk like Senate flesh out some governance stuff, and I think out of that you've seen the proposal on the forum, and you've seen them moving ahead with stuff. So that's what the Eastwind role is here to do, support anything. But it's like the guild is a little bit. So yeah, I mean, I guess we will be having the call too. So if you have any stuff you want to come on and get support, feel free to do so. That's my update.
Thank you. Can I ask, is there a way to add to the research start here? I know that there's this call is on there, but it doesn't direct towards the, East Wind, South Wind, North Wind, West Wind. Their separate meeting time at the research start here.
To add to the research start here is the Notion which Ernest manages, because I think it's already there if I'm not wrong. So
it is.
If you go into there, and as Ernest mentioned, lab, you concord things. So if you go into there and if you see all these things, which as Think Decade was saying, is that we started, then we never finished it, and we got stuck into other things. So those are the stuff, folks, where you can just pick them up and reactivate them. I'm pretty sure that there will be people in the guild who will be all ears and very interested to hear what you say. Or as things add your own.
Perfect. Okay. So Crown, do you have anything from Westwind?
It's almost 6. So basically from Westwind, nothing much apart from the D-Work link I sent to the announcement channel today. And in case anybody is interested in the bounty and maybe doesn't know how to go about it, you can come to my DM and text me like someone has done already, and I even sent a material that would help. So, or just tag me in the channel. Then basically, as per previous updates, there are still opportunities around the now the Writers Guild, the Marketing Guild there for to contribute and earn some banks. So that's basically it from the West Wind Road. I don't know if Possible has any other thing to add. Yeah.
Okay. So I have one question about the work. Is that open to non-bankless?
Yeah, the work is a general Web3 platform. So the tax I sent earlier is not even from Bankless. It's from outside the DAO, but they opened it up to just any researcher that is interested in it up. That's it.
I'm sorry.
Rated.
Okay.
Can
So then I
you
guess one more question. So if one were to go that route, they would have to submit the research when they were done. But if somebody else already has, or 10 other people are in the process of doing it, how does that work?
You mean the work tax?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Basically, the link I sent in the announcement channel, once you click on the link, it takes you to the work and it takes you to the tax. So you can see the deliverables and the details of the tax there on the work. So if it's something you feel, okay, I want to do this and I can do this, you can go on, make your research on the topic. The topic is on-chain learning behavior. It's a you make a research on that and deliver in the formats listed there. So if it's something you feel, okay, I have interest in this, I have interest and I feel I can do it, so you can go ahead and do it. It's just one of the opportunities I stumbled across and thought I should share with members here that are looking to go into stuff like that.
So then everyone who
Then
goes on
everyone
their
that
own and everyone that
anyone that goes and does the work would submit there on the work. So the administrator of that particular tax from the DAO that sent it out would check the work and see if it's what they are looking for. Then you earn the price attached to it.
That answers my question. So there could be 100 submissions, and the reviewer would choose the one submission that they.
It's not one submission. It's open to multiple submissions. So it's not just one person they are going to pick. They are going to pick the submit. People can research on different things and bring out different data that is useful to them. You understand?
Yes.
So when such data are delivered, they will see that, okay, this is what we need. This is your pay. That is it. It's just basically to work and deliver what they need and get paid. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for
Yeah.
clarifying.
If anybody has more questions on the work, how to navigate or whatever, they can ask in the channel so others can also learn when I give answers. Or if they're not comfortable with that, they can come to my DM like some folk have done already.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's on the hour. Does anyone have anything to add or any questions? Now would be the time.
I'll just add that so one of the types of meetings that we don't have in the guild, because we're usually doing so much onboarding, is these more types of discussion type of meetings. Usually the guild sync is the place to come and get updates and just kind of like confirm what's happening on a weekly kind of basis. We have budgeted for developing a second meeting time during the week. So if folks if folks would appreciate more of a discussion type of meeting, maybe every other week, um, then yeah, we'd love to hear some suggestions from folks on when that might be. But yeah, totally, something that just isn't usually made time for in our weekly syncs, but is a very important thing, I think, to maybe start doing, given the amount of people that are, finally
Discussions as to projects in general, or discussions as to anything, or discussions about the ops of.
Well, the thing is that we could have different types of discussions, but essentially it is the discussions of, the ideas that people have, the questions that people have, actually working at, every, and maybe even too, like every other weekly sync could be more discussion based, right? Just to give people an opportunity to more like share, their experience, and you know, we try to do everything async first, but there's great benefit to just being together in the same space, hearing other people's like opinions and experiences. And we just don't, that's just not the intention of the office hours. It's not the intention of the weekly syncs. It's usually not the intention, it happens in the work group meetings, for a particular work group, but you know um, it's just one of the, the spaces for opportunity um, that exists, and so for folks that like to hold space, that are good at holding space, and helping, it just helps us listen to each other, I think. Helps me listen to you all. So I just want to let people know that it's not the design and the intent of the weekly syncs or the office hours. So if that's something that we want, we just have to.
Do you want to start a poll with a time, or if people want that, and if so, time?
I want other people to learn how to do polls, and so yeah, I'm totally down for helping anybody. If somebody, OG is also, and Crown, and other people know how to write polls, and they can help you. So I don't, but I'm inviting anyone that wants to learn to do that. And I just wanted to let people know that we budgeted for it, right? So this meeting, would have a note taker and a speaker facilitating the meeting. You would, we can start like every other week, and plan it as we go. But they'll have to design, an agenda, and we'll learn a little bit about what a discussion protocol is, maybe. Um, I'm just trying to, figure out what's a good time for other people.
Great.
Ernest, about that, I guess it would be better, number one, to just get, if set a poll to check if the guild decides on having a second meeting. Then once the guild decides on having a second meeting, set up a lettuce to get a time suitable for everybody. That's my suggestion.
That's a good one. Anyone have anything to add? Or it's 5 past, so I want to be respectful of everybody's time.
So who wants to create the poll?
Okay, so we will work on. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to chip in. The time is already
yes.
gone away. So I want to give an update on the group. It's going strong, and currently we are coming out with a survey, okay, questionnaire that will take into consideration in Web3. So it will be coming out within this week, and they will report up for everybody that you know that's the questionnaire. So I'm tweeting all Africans here where to actually embrace this opportunity so that we can be able to get the data we are looking for. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So then everybody have a wonderful week. Thank you.
All right, thank you, everyone. Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
GM.